Tony here. Hi, everyone. I recently was able to listen to a podcast between Epsilon Theory, Ben Hunt, and Howard Lindzon. And they talked about the three things that are keeping the stock market up and also the couple of things that could derail the market. And I really, really enjoyed the podcast. In fact, if I will link below the podcast if you want to listen to it completely. And of course, I'm going to run through the points of the podcast right now for you. So, right now, the stock market is as high as we have ever seen it in respect to valuations: price to sales, price to book, price to earnings, price to GDP. Absolutely, it's insanity. For the last 2 years, stocks have had negative earnings growth, and stocks have just rallied relentlessly, even with negative growth. So we know growth doesn't make stocks go up. What the only thing that makes stocks go up is the Fed and all the money printing that they're doing. So let's start with point number one: platform stocks, story stocks. Wall Street always is looking for a story to sell you, so you would buy stocks that are super duper expensive. And of course, now we're hearing about the stocks not being really stocks and companies not being really companies. They're actually platforms. And for example, Airbnb is not a stock. It's a platform for vacationing. It's a platform for entertaining. It's a platform for hospitality. Uber, of course, is not a taxi company. Uber is a platform for transportation. And DoorDash is not a food delivery company. It's a platform to allow commerce to communicate against each other. And of course, the granddaddy of them all, Tesla. Tesla is not a car company. Tesla is a platform. It's a platform, a technological platform uh, that who knows what Tesla does. But of course, Tesla is not a car company. Of course, these platform stories make you believe that the company has 50 to 100 years of growth ahead of you. So you should not bother on stupid things like what, how much money a company makes, or if how much money they're spending. Those things are irrelevant right now. And of course, valuations are through the roof. The reason these valuations are super high right now, they're all driven by very, very low interest rates. As we know, we have interest rates all the way down, almost to zero. And of course, the Fed keeps printing money, printing money, printing money, and pushing up asset pricing, including housing, stocks, and all sorts of assets that only the rich people can afford. And the poor people, unfortunately, have been left behind. So that is point number one: platform stocks. Of course, these platform stocks could have a hiccup and go down, and then they'll find another platform stock to sell you guys and make you jump in the bandwagon. Number two is crypto. You know, Wall Street has lost one of its pillars. Uh, Wall Street makes money if you keep your money in invested with them, invested in their account so they can charge you fees month after month. And fixed income is was one of their pillars. People used to invest money in treasuries to get some yield, in corporate bonds, junk bonds, etc. But now interest rates are so low that people have lost interest on fixed income. And Wall Street is always looking for a product to sell you. And the product that they have found is crypto, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I think, is going to go through the roof, up super high, because now they're going to productize Bitcoin. What does productize mean? Means that you're going to be able to buy Bitcoin either on an ETF, or you're going to be able to buy fractional cryptos all inside your brokerage account. And I think this is great. And Wall Street will try to sell you that Bitcoin is a much better hedge against inflation than gold or stocks. And why? Because they need to charge fees and they need you to keep your money invested with them. So be wary about this. But the new kid in town is crypto, and crypto also is going to become legalized. Once crypto is, we have legislation on crypto, and crypto is segregated to the masses, crypto could go through the roof, could go to 100, 200,000 or more. Who knows? But I would buy any dips on Bitcoin or any digital asset that you like, because digital assets are for real and they're going to keep going up. But remember, they could go down 20, 30% in a single day. I would use those temporary crashes to be able to get into and increase our positions in Bitcoin. And the third story that Wall Street is selling you this year are SPACs. What is a SPAC? SPAC is a special acquisition vehicle. And what does that mean? It means that a shell company is created, they raise money, and then they look for a target to buy. And so the SPAC has actually three components. Number one is the sponsor. The sponsor of the SPAC is the person that creates the SPAC and raises the money for a future acquisition. These people benefit because they will probably make between 20 and 25% of whatever money is raised and then invested into another company. The second player in the SPAC game is the target company. And the target company would ultimately be purchased by the special acquisition vehicle, and it's an alternative to going public. It's a much faster way for a company to go public by being accepted to be bought out by a SPAC. And why would a company be willing to do this? Because going public is expensive, going public is difficult, has a lot of red tape, and by getting acquired by a SPAC, of course, their shares can become public really fast, but in exchange, they're gonna have to lose a lot, 20 to 25% of their equity in a dilution in order to go public through the SPAC. And investors, why are investors going or interested in SPACs right now? Well, the number one reason is because they're going up. Every SPAC right now is just flying through the roof. And the other reason an investor would be interested in a SPAC would be to be able to have access to an exciting, growing company that normally they wouldn't have a chance to invest with if it was a private company at the time. So, everyone, I am very much worried because Wall Street is selling you these three uh, foundations to keep the market up right now. And there are two important things that could derail this huge stock market boom. Number one would be higher interest rates. If you take a look at TLT or the yield on the 10-year, we have seen that now the yield is close to 1% and probably it will exceed 1% very soon. When yields start going up, a lot of investments don't make sense anymore. So be wary. If you see the 10-year yield go to 125 or 150 or more, maybe it's a time to take your profits and be a little more careful. And the other thing that I think could really derail this huge stock market boom is some sort of problem with the vaccine. Maybe the vaccine's not working properly or giving a lot of side effects and people not wanting to administer the vaccines, or the virus mutating and making the vaccine ineffective. Those are the two factors that you must keep your eyes on very, very carefully and have your be ready to exit as soon as possible if you see those two factors affecting the stocks. So remember, interest rates, watch out, and vaccine. Inflation is coming, but inflation is coming mainly in the form of asset inflation and food inflation. If you live on planet Earth and you buy food or you put gas in your cars, you know there's a lot of inflation. And the central bankers are selling you I don't want to say a bunch of lies, but a bunch of mistruths in order to not let you panic that your money is being worth less and less. Just take a look at the DXY or the UUP. You're going to see how the US dollar has devalued 12, 14, 15% in the last few months, making your money be worth a lot less. And of course, we need to protect ourselves against inflation And the way to protect ourselves is by buying real assets. Real assets, including commodities, everything from corn, lumber, copper, gold, etc., and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now considered an asset. Of course, real estate and stocks are also assets that can protect you. Of course, the big problem right now is you need to convert your cash into assets, but the stock market and all the assets are super expensive. So, what we must do, if we have a chance, if we see another correction, start putting some money to work. Start converting that extra cash that you have into assets. Bitcoin, gold, real estate, stocks, commodities, because your money every year is going to be worth less and less, and you need to protect it and try to keep its value. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what I mentioned here, consider sharing this video to somebody who could benefit. Also, remember to click like because it helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe, and if you want to learn about personal finance and how to become a millionaire, I have a course called The 9 Proven Steps to Become a Millionaire for free. Link below. Also, if you want to trade using the same trading platform that I use, the best trading platform available for traders, is tastyworks. Link below. And remember, it's getting crazy out there. Don't keep cash, convert your cash into assets, take advantage of short term corrections, and good luck trading. Remember, you gotta risk it to get the biscuit, baby.